The stage is all yours.
Something that I had mentioned during my Super Mario World run is that I'm a Sony speedrunner, and we're gonna try to see that here. Hello again, GhostSenpai again, and this is gonna be my last game of the marathon, which is Pac-Man World, one of my childhood games and favorite speed games. In the category is all levels, which is not so commonly shown on marathons, but I'm pretty happy with that. I got to be here at Valuethon to do this. So the time is gonna start once I start a new game. So I'm assuming we're ready for the time. Let me count down.
As usual.
3, 2, 1. I need to quit the game directly. I cannot start directly in quest mode because time moves. And
Do we need the timer to be restarted?
I have started the timer. Do I need to reset the run?
No. I thought you like messed something up at the start. We can just restart here quickly since I messed you up. Sorry about that.
Okay. Don't worry.
Let's just restart quickly.
Well, this is normal because I messed it up on Super Mario World.
Miscommunication. No, it sounded it sounded like you told me that like you had to restart the run quickly, but it wasn't.
No, I haven't. No, I say that to start the game, I need to reset the game quickly.
Yeah, that's what I misunderstood. That's what I misunderstood.
Yeah, don't worry. Well,
all right, I'm good to go.
We're ready. Let's start again. That was a fake attempt. So, 3, 2, 1. Go. That's the way that I need to start the game. On clicking on. Start.
You didn't see anything.
Yeah, well, this is the first stage. If you have seen a penguin telling you something that you have seen anything, you were right. You have seen it. So, well, it's a game released in 1999 because in the year 2000, Pac-Man turned 20 years old. So yeah, this is why this game is called Pac-Man World 20th Anniversary. And if you were wondering, on last year in 2020, a year that I think that not so many people would like to remember, Pac-Man turned 40. So yes, we are old. Well, this is the big jump of Pac-Man World into 3D platforming, and before I keep talking about something, well, anything related to the game, I'm gonna try to make a little skip here in order to skip this barrier. There we go. So I just skipped some seconds because I need to dash in on a switch in order to open that gate. But with that, I just can skip it without problems. So well, this was the big jump of Pac-Man to the 3D world. Well, Pac-Man World, 3D World makes sense, isn't it? Usually, on speedrunning of Pac-Man World games, Pac-Man World 2 is the commonly run game. So again, I'm pretty excited that I'm able to showcase the... Oh, okay. This is a usual mistake, don't worry. I'm pretty happy that I am able to showcase the PS1 game, the first Pac-Man World game, because not so many people is aware about the existence of this title nowadays. Whatever the game was really popular back in the day. So maybe you're wondering, why does Pac-Man look like he's having a seizure? Well, this is called zigzagging, which is basically meshing of left, of right, drag up, drag down, and vice versa. Which means that I'm playing this with a D-pad. I'm not playing this game with analog sticks. Even the PS1 controller that I'm using doesn't have analog sticks, and I'm gonna prove that once I complete this stage. So with zigzagging, for some reason, Pac-Man's speed gets increased, so we can move faster in that way instead of everywhere walking. So you need to be aware that during all this run, Pac-Man is gonna be doing that weird movement, which is pretty normal. And now, keeping going into the game, I'm gonna have some time to talk about the category later on the run. Well, on this part, I made a little out of bounds there, because there's an invisible wall that was gonna try to do what I have done that. So I was able to skip that section instead of going on underwater, which, well, swimming underwater is slow on the game. And well, now I have this crumble, which is gonna allow me to walk down the underwater. because here I'm gonna getting this key that I'm gonna be needing in order to release one of Pac-Man's friend, and I have here this strawberry, which is gonna help me to open this door, which is gonna activate. Well, it's gonna let me to activate this switch, which is gonna activate this one next to this canyon. That's gonna make the point that the token that I need to get in order to complete the stage gets free. Yes, second stage completed. It was totally cool because it was a beach. And well, now that I have a key, let's move to Crazy Canaanite, the second stage of the game. Sorry, the third stage of the game. And here we're gonna release the first Pac-Man friend because we're gonna have some time to talk about the history. And yes, I received some damage due to that ghost. So the plot of the game is, again, we need to remember that this game was released in order to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Pac-Man, well, the release of the arcade, the first Pac-Man arcade game. And for that, it's supposed that Pac-Man's family was organizing a little party for him, but then, for some reason, everybody started to get kidnapped, and we don't know what happened. So at the end, when Pac-Man arrives to his home, maybe after work, he notices that his house was a real mess, that his house was destroyed. So obviously he was depressed. So when he was walking really sad outside of his home, he saw a lot of invites to the Ghost Island, which mentioned something related to a party, mentioning at the same time that on that party you were gonna be able to meet the real Pac-Man live and in person. Obviously, that was not true because the real Pac-Man wasn't invited to that party, and then he noticed that. So moving to the Ghost Island, it's supposed that Pac-Man, an evil robot who's trying to impersonate Pac-Man and turn into the new and real Pac-Man, send orders to the other ghosts to kidnap Pac-Man, but again, as it uses to happen on almost every video game or every story with related plots, they fail in their duty, and they kidnap both Pac-Man family and friends. So now Pac-Man needs to go to the Ghost Island and rescue them. And yeah, that's the story of the game. We need to rescue all 6 friends of Pac-Man and defeat Talking. All levels means that we're gonna be going through the intended any-person route, because the any-person category of the game has a lot of minor glitches when you can skip a lot of stages and you're not prepared to play most of the stages. Well, most of the stages. Plus, all levels is the only category where you need to play the boss. The only stage where you play the boss fights. Well, we have here is the first friend of Pac-Man, which is Puka from Dig Dug. And you're probably wondering, wait, Dig Dug on Pac-Man, well, Puka from Dig Dug on Pac-Man's universe? What is happening here? Well, what happened here is that when Namco was developing the game, they noticed really late that they just got 5 Pac-Man friends and family to do the game, and they were 6 islands. So they said, okay, we have the rights, we are the owners, we are the creators from Dig Dug, so let's just include Puka, because why not? That's the reason why Puka is in the game. So yeah, that's like another little tribute to other Namco classic. And now we have HMS Windback, the first boss of the game. This has 2 phases. The first one is this chasing section where we just need to run away, and that's everything in order to be safe. And now this is the important section, because here we're going to be using these switches, because this big ship is going to try to shoot to us some cannonballs, but if we do this, we can make those cannonballs go back to the ship, and that's the way we're going to be doing damage to them. I need to be really careful because this button gets spawned after a certain amount of time. So you need to be really careful with what am I doing with my movements mostly. And I'm trying to time correctly this in order to get a decent pattern in order to make some damage to the ship. Which in this case I'm not getting a very good pattern, and I'm wasting a good amount of time here. Even on my PDA wasted a good amount of time here, so I'm not so worried about that. Okay, 2 hits. And first section of the game defeated. We need to complete our 5 sections. Now, Chris's Cavern, second section of the game, and the only one which has 3 stages instead of 4. The reason behind this is because there was a third stage in development that it's hidden on the game code, and you can access to it through GameShark and to GameShark codes, and you will notice that the stage is not complete. So instead of adding a new stage or completing the stage, they just decided to squeeze some of the stuff that they had made on that stage on 2 stages, and that's the reason why these stages are gonna be really, really long. And yes, nice ways to reduce damage. I need to be careful with some switches because obviously when you press them, some traps get activated, but I need to be careful on that aspect. In order to don't receive damage. And also, sorry if I mess up again with my words or my actions. I'm a bit tired. This was a very tiring week, but speedrunning duties needed to right now. So hopefully everything is gonna be fine on the run. And well, here it's supposed that I need to complete like a little maze, a little section here on the stage in order to reach this lower part. But if I do what I have done there, I can cut all of that section and keep moving to the next section, and that's something. So on all levels, the intended any-person route, we don't skip stages, but we have some interesting out-of-bounds glitches here. I don't know what have catched those Pac-Dots, but also you can get Pac-Dots and use them as projectiles. So here we're gonna make this little skip that it's not hard to do. Right now I was out of bounds in order to access to the swimming section, because you need to complete another maze section where you need to go to the top section of the game and grab all of the stage, and then grab some elements in order to open a door, which is gonna let you to swim underwater to the section. But if we do that really easy out of bounds trick, we're gonna be cutting 30 seconds. Something curious about the game is that we're gonna be watching most stuff like that, and also you're gonna see a lot of elements on the screen, and maybe you're gonna be thinking that all of those things are solid, but not all the things on the stage are solid or have some hitboxes. Okay, I need to be careful because if I receive another hit, I'm gonna die, and this is the end of the stage. Okay, I'm gonna try to don't die on the next stage because we have some stuff to refill our health. So now Manic Knight, second stage of this second section of the island. And in this stage we have both the friend and the key. On the any-person route, we skip Chris's Cavern due to a buffer glitch on the game. But again, all levels, you're forced to play all of these stages. I need to be careful because I'm so close to some health refiller, and this wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't. I think that I don't remember where that thing is. Oh, well, this is the section where I try to fill with something. And I needed to die right there. What a game, what a game. I'm not gonna catch the health for obvious reasons. But it was on that previous section that I have skipped directly. But yeah, one thing happens, unless I have died so close to the checkpoint. Also, I need to make that the spider spawns there, otherwise I'm gonna receive damage if I try to skip it. Because I'm gonna get in contact with it. Again, more zigzagging, more fails like this. And while comparing this with the other games that I have run, such as Super Mario World and Snow Brothers, I need to be so careful here in the game. Because if you die, you get a game over screen, and in order to continue, you need to use a save file. You need to save your game and then load the game, because there are no continues here in the game. And since I'm not saving, mostly because I don't have my memory card right now, I need to be careful with this. If, for example, I die on these sections, I'm just gonna lose like 15 minutes considering that I start a new run. So I need to be really, really careful right now because I just have 3 lives, and then the next boss is a really tricky boss, a really hard boss that is gonna make us lose lives. But I'm gonna consider what I'm gonna do, because if I see that I'm low on lives, instead of facing the second boss of the game, I'm gonna go directly to complete the third section of the island, because with the third boss you can gain a lot of lives, and that's mostly like a backup route. I'm just gonna lose like a couple of seconds if I try to do that, but it's gonna be fine anyways. And so now we have that totems that turns into tornadoes. We never get rid of the tornadoes. They're chasing us on video games. Another underwater section. And what is gonna define if I go for the backup route or not, talking about the way I'm gonna be completing the stages, is gonna be the skip here, because we are gonna do another skip in order to get the key, in order to release the second Pac-Man friend, because it's supposed that again you need to do like a kind of little maze that is gonna give you the vibes of the classic Pac-Man, the Kid Pac-Man action. But we're gonna be skipping that, doing some damage boostings here. Also, there's an extra life here next on the stage that I'm gonna be grabbing just to be safe. So I need to be careful to don't activate those traps. So the extra one of these right here. Okay, to try to keep health, because I'm gonna do a damage boosting, which is right here. I'm gonna activate. This is gonna be the only trap that I need to activate on purpose. Let me do this really quick. There we go, first try. I'm gonna be showing you what's supposed that we need to do in order to get that key. Because here it's supposed that we need to reach this section, we need to press this button right here, which is gonna activate a little maze here, and we need to chase some bananas that are gonna spawn, and with that bananas we're gonna open a door which is gonna make the moving platform is gonna lead to us to reach the key spawns down, so we can take it in order to reach the key. But if we do that damage boosting, we just simply are gonna be able to avoid all of this and save a good amount of time. And then I'm gonna be facing Anubis Rex, which is the third boss of the game. This was really good. I'm not gonna lie. This was decent, considering that like, sometimes I used to mess up some stuff. And now, Anubis Rex, maybe the most annoying boss and complicated boss of the game. I don't know what I'm zigzagging when I suck trying to zigzag here, but I'm just trying to do it. I'm not good doing frontal zigzagging on the game yet. There's another piece of health, let's try to catch it. And he's gonna be doing these dashes in order to be a bit ahead. I'm trying to conserve as much health as I can, because this is gonna be the complicated thing. Because here this boss has 4 phases. And I'm gonna try to go through in a specific order, but at the same time I'm gonna try to do this a bit safe, comparing it with how I used to complete this boss. Because, well, on this first phase there's not so much to do. This is ultimately the most easiest one, because what we're gonna be doing in all phases is that we need to use these platforms in order to release these hearts, and we need to perform a dash against those hearts. Also, sometimes I can get some pieces of health, sometimes I can get some 1-ups, and well, now in the second phase we have this tornado again. We cannot get rid of the tornadoes, unfortunately, on these speed games. Well, in this second phase, I'm doing the same thing that I have done on the first one, with the difference that I need to be careful about the tornado. Here in the third phase, I'm gonna change my route. because now we're gonna be having these lava rocks going directly to the platforms. Plus more tornado action, because why not? Okay, I'm doing this a little safe because I don't want to die here. This is a boss where you used to die a lot. And also, once I release the card, I need to be quick also in order to reach it. Otherwise, what is gonna happen is that the boss fists are gonna get close again, which is gonna make me, well, it's gonna make me feel forced, or well, I'm gonna be forced into repeating this again. So I'm doing this a bit safe. I'm waiting for these laser beams to pass by in order to activate the rest of the platforms. So here, I'm gonna try to activate this last platform. It doesn't matter if I receive damage. I'm gonna do some damage boostings here. It doesn't matter if I receive damage. I made this a bit safer, so I will start with a fit. Oh, it's more harder than it looks. It's more harder than it looks. Thanks for the good luck. And basically at this point, well, not basically, we haven't completed. I was gonna say that we haven't completed half of the game, but this is just the second section of the game. We're gonna move to my favorite section of the game, the Space Zone. Which again, we're gonna be back into this 4 stages phase. Space Race, another stage that on any percent just keep, because this stage has nothing. The important stage is the second one, which is Far Out, which are both Friend and Pac-Man. Well, both Pac-Man Friend and the Key. Something I haven't mentioned is that we have saved the Pac Dog on the second world. I need to be careful with those laser beams also. I'm gonna do safe. Mostly because if I receive another hit, I'm gonna I thought that it was gonna like it. Here's a piece of health. Also, I'm just catching the Pac Dots just to be a bit safe, because again, I can use them as projectiles. And again, another little skip here. I don't need to activate the switch that is gonna make that wall disappear. And there's a piece of health here. Another piece of health here. There's a 1-up right here. And this is another little skip that we're gonna be doing. We're gonna try to go a bit out of bounds, because again, we need to complete a little maze there in order to get a fruit that is gonna let us to open the door that we have seen, and with that activate a switch. No, I need to activate. If I remember correctly, first I need to. Okay, I feel this. First, I need to activate the maze and then open the door, and then that's gonna deactivate the wall. Otherwise, I need to open the door in order to activate a maze, and then another button is gonna spawn, so I can press in order to make disappear that wall. It has been a long time since I have done this casually, so I don't remember exactly. I'm really sorry about that. Well, now, Far Out, the second stage of the game. Well, of the section of the island. The only stage that matters, because again, this just has both Key and Friends. I don't know, at the same time, these stages are very relaxing. Plus, my favorite bosses on this section of the game. I'm not gonna be telling nothing about it. We're gonna be watching that on a bit. Okay, I'm gonna need to pack that here. There's a 1-up here. I'm gonna be trying to catch as much 1-ups as I can again, because in the game, when you get a game over screen, you need to load a save file, and I don't have a way to save the game, because I'm not saving the game. Okay, this alien here was annoying us because we need to press that button in order to continue to progress into the game. Okay, a little damage boosting, not on purpose, but whatever. And here is where we're gonna be saving the next Pac-Man friend, which is gonna be the Professor Pac-Man, or Professor Pac. I don't remember the name, sorry. I should give it a try and try to learn them. I used to make a damage boosting here, but since I'm low on health, I'm gonna do this a bit safe. Because what we need to do is that we need to go to the top, we need to press the switch, then we need to go down, press the blue switch that's gonna spawn, get the key, and release Professor Pac. Here's suppose where I do my damage boosting. I'm gonna do it right now. With this I can get into the top without problems. And Professor Pac is saved. Fun fact about the game, and this is mostly for the every streamer, is that this game has a 16:9 option. Only every streamer will know why I have said that. Now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, 16:9 version is well, 16:9 resolution or aspect ratio in this game is not good because it's not correctly optimized. And yeah, it's a PS1 game with resolution with a 16:9 option. Amazing. That was the power of 1999. And now I'm low on health, so I need to be careful. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna do this again, just because I don't want to die. And because there's some health here, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, there's another one up. Yes, there's another one up. Again, suppose that here I activate a maze, but since that's not required, I just need to keep going. That's everything. That's all I need to do. Now, give me space. Third stage of the game. There's some health here I'm gonna try to catch, just to be a bit safe. And again, here there's nothing interesting for me to mention. So we have some time for announcements, otherwise I'm gonna try to make that people in chat can enjoy the amazing soundtrack of the game. The amazing compressed tracks that this game has. Because those tracks you are listening are heavily compressed.
We don't have any new donations right now, but just as a reminder, we're still here raising money for Save the Children. So if you want to help support a global mission of, you know, it's like there's no single thing they do, right? They build schools, they help malnourished children. It's like if you just want to help to, you know, make sure that children don't die of completely preventable causes, then that's a charity for you. They operate in like over 100 countries, and you can't really think of a better charity to support during this event. So if you want to help support them, then go support them through our Tiltify campaign, and then we'll get the donation bar out. We'll get the donation total up here.
I really like to do the dashing because in other games maybe your character is gonna die besides they have reached the end of the game. Well, the end of the stage. But in this game, if you do that, the game doesn't recognize that you have died or something like that. And now King Galaxian, my favorite boss of the game, and the main reason why I like to play all levels, because again, all levels is the only category where you face the bosses, where you play the boss stages. I'm not gonna say nothing related to this. I hope you can get the reference about in which thing this thing is based. So I consider that as a kind of good Easter egg by Namco. And the reason why this is the backup in case you want to get some extra lives is because you have seen you can get a lot of fruits. And the most fruits you get, the most points you get, and the most points you get, the most lives you're going to be getting when you can do this stage. So usually for newcomers like me, which are not so good with Anubis Rex, you just skip Anubis Rex until they complete the stage. That's something I used to do, and then randomly, when I was running the game, I forgot that I need to go for the backup route, and then I realized that I was able to be this Anubis Rex, and I was like, okay, we can go to the intended route instead of the backup one. Gotcha. Checkpoint! Yes, because I was gonna die. So I'm really happy that I was able to catch the checkpoint. It's really weird that I died there, but I'm glad that I was able at least to get the checkpoint. Otherwise, we're gonna waste a good amount of time. And also, something bad about this boss stage modern speedrun is that you can lose a good amount of time if you don't do this correctly. And you're gonna see why, because you have seen this first part is basically an auto-scroller. This has two sections, or well, three if you wanna consider the checkpoints. But this first part is an auto-scroller because after that we have King Galaxian. This is basically based on Galaga and Galaxian, obviously. And the way that we're gonna be defeating this boss is that this boss has 4 eyes and we need to destroy all of them. And after we destroy an eye, some enemies are gonna spawn. And obviously on each phase, the difficulty is gonna grow. It's gonna be more difficult to try to defeat this. Plus, sometimes King Galaxian is gonna be shooting some laser beams, which we need to avoid. On the first phases, what I like to do is to try to destroy the eyes on the corner, because those are the ones that takes more time off screen. And since the first cycles are the easiest ones, I prefer to do that, just to save some time. And also, I'm trying to move to the left and the right. Mostly due to this, mostly because here, as you have seen also, these enemies shoot some red laser beams, so I don't know when the other enemies are gonna shoot them, so I just try to move to the left and the right to avoid. Not randomly, because we don't know when or how those laser beams are gonna be shooting. And just in case that I receive damage, every time that I destroy an eye, I receive a piece of health. And now this last section is a complicated one, so I'm gonna keep quiet while I try to avoid this. That's fine. That's fine. There we go. If I should have died here, I was gonna lose 3 times by default. Sorry, 3 minutes by default. And now we got our amount of lights increased by a good amount. So I shouldn't be so worried about that, losing my life at the next stages, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna be comfy or something like that. Now, clawing around, maybe some people are gonna hate this. So I really apologize, but I haven't made this game. I just try to pretend that I'm good running it. And well, clawing around on this funhouse section, again, another stage that has nothing interesting on it. But again, all levels, we need to complete it, because why not? And also, besides of these new 3D Pac-Man adventures, you can play also some mazes into some You can get some classic Pac-Man action playing some mazes on the same engine of Pac-Man World, but with the feeling and design of the classic 1980s game. Where to complete the game on 100%, you need to get some extra mazes, and if you're not playing the Japanese version, you need to complete also the marathon mode, which is unlocked once you get all the mazes on the game. Which, well, also you can play the original game, the original Pac-Man game here. Well, you're gonna play a 1995 port, but still being the same. So now again, we need to skip that these stairs fall down. And with this, we just go straight, trying to avoid that, and avoiding the invisible walls. Bird Blast, and this next stage we're gonna be watching some interesting strats also, and this is gonna be the stage where we're gonna be getting the key. I need to be careful here because I used to mess up here and forget that I need to come back for the key, because you may get damage boost in here or just save a little amount of time. In case somebody was wondering this, my PB in this category is 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 11 seconds. And also I'm playing this game on a PS2 because PS2 consoles have an option called Fast Disk Speed, which makes that PS1 disk spins faster, reducing some time on loadings. I think that for this game it saves like 1.5 minutes on loadings, maybe more, or maybe a bit less. Plus, I'm playing the American version, which is the most hardest version of the game. For almost all categories, the best version is the Japanese release, but I don't have access to a Japanese copy of the game or a Japanese PS2 console. Besides, the Japanese version of this game is really cheap, but at some point I'm gonna be able to afford a Japanese PS2. And I forgot to show my controller, right? I'm gonna show it on a bit. No analog sticks allowed. Also, the chromal heal here helps me in order to don't receive damage by the steam. And well, here we're gonna have a little kit here. Let me see if I can get it. Otherwise, I'm gonna do an intended boot. Okay, game. Okay, there we go. I need to come here, otherwise the game is not gonna load the next section of the game. I know that it took a bit to get that, but I'm happy, I'm glad that I was able to get it anyways. Now more moving platforms, because why not? Here, Here suppose that I need to press that switch and some stairs are gonna spawn on the left section, but if I do this, if I just break that chest and I try to don't fall down, I just can skip it and I can keep going. Because with the stairs also you see the animation where the stairs spawn. Okay, I need to try to keep as much health as I can. I can get some health through that chest, but that's gonna make me lose time, so I don't see it worth it. Or at least not for now. And here is why it's important to don't receive damage, because here in this section, okay, I have resist damage, but it's fine. Because in this section, we're gonna be doing a data abuse. Because what I need to do here is that I need to come here, I need to press this button, and those packets are gonna spawn. But right now, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna catch a checkpoint here, and please remember me to grab the key. Please just put that on chat. Grab the key, because otherwise maybe I'm gonna forget it, and I'm really worried about that. I'm really worried that maybe I'm gonna mess it up. So here, well, I'm gonna receive an extra damage because I need to have no health here. Because what I'm gonna do here is that I'm just gonna die, and thanks for reminding me for the key. Is to come back, grab the key, and I used to forget this, and once I reach the cage from the next Pac-Man friend on the next station, Spin Dizzy, I realized that I forgot to come back for the key. Inevitably, for a marathon, this is gonna be bad because I'm gonna lose time, considering that I'm gonna need to play the level again. And well, that's on the second try. I don't forget the key, but the important thing is to don't forget that on the first time you try to complete the stage. But believe me, I used to forget that. Even recently, some days ago, when I was practicing, I was having a decent pace, considering that I was de-rossing the game, and I even was on a PB pace because my PB is really bad. I forgot the key. And I lost like 4 minutes that I was ahead from my PB. So, feels bad, man. No, like 2 or 3 minutes, not 4 minutes. Yeah, I was kinda ahead. Oh, I have completed the stage and I have the key. I shouldn't be worried about that, because now we're gonna move to Spin Dizzy, third stage of the game. And where we're gonna be rescuing, third stage of this fun house section. And the section where we're gonna be saving the next Pac-Man friend. And yes, the game decided to drop my jumping. Oh my goodness, and yes, I forgot that this part of the floor fall down. I wasn't expecting to receive damage there, but it doesn't matter. Here again, I need to activate those moving platforms for additional stuff, but that's nothing that I need on that I need to complete this run. I have skipped that on the checkpoint on purpose because here there's another one, which if I take this and I die for some reason, I'm gonna spawn on that point. So just to be a bit safe, what I do is that I left that checkpoint. Suppose that I use that thing that I have destroyed accidentally in order to skip that section and come directly here. Like here, for example, that I have leave it up here. So now I'm gonna spawn close to this section. So I'm not worried about that. Because otherwise I was gonna waste some time. Also, something additional to mention is that on this stage, I think, or well, also on other stages that happen, the Japanese release has more lives and more checkpoints. And for example, the American release, which was the first one released, I think that here there's a checkpoint on the Japanese release. On the American release, on the American release, every time you complete the stage, and also that when you complete the stage, and for example, if I have just 2 out of 4 bars of health, I'm gonna be taken out of the stage with 2 bars of health. But it doesn't matter how many bars of health you have on the European and Japanese release on those versions of the game. Oh my goodness, why this is happening? Okay, time to play more safer than nothing. On the what I was saying, okay, on the American and European, on the American release, your health doesn't get refilled. On the European and Japanese release, your health gets refilled. Okay, there I was able to reach this. But also, we're gonna break on a bit this stage because we're gonna keep some sections of the game, which is gonna avoid that some stuff get triggered, and with that, the rest of the stage is gonna turn into something a bit easier to complete. Okay, in amount of lives I keep doing fine. And also, I hope that I don't die on this the last section of the stage, because I used to mess up sometimes some stuff there. So here, we need to activate the switch. This is gonna make that the carousel, or well, I don't know how this thing is called in English. If somebody can tell me in chat how this is called. Well, that thing just changed its direction, and that platform gets activated. Just to be a bit safe, I'm gonna grab this special power up here. I'm gonna destroy this bombing car, because there's a chance that I can fall down here. Carousel. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking about something like that, but I used to forget sometimes on words again. English is not my main language, and I'm trying to do my best. So here, what I have done is that I made a little out of bounds here, and I skip all of this section, because again, on the game, I need to activate some stuff in order to reach this section of this part of the stage. And with this, these platforms and further things on the rest of the stage are not gonna get triggered, making the game, well, making the stage more easier to complete. But also there's gonna be a bit trickier sometimes, because there's some stuff where you really need the moving platforms, like on this section. But again, we have the zigzagging, so we're not forced to complete all this section, or we're waiting in order to activate those things. And also, since this platform doesn't move, I can activate this switch really easy, which is gonna make that this platform is gonna come here, so I can keep moving on the rest of the stage without problems. And again, more sections that once I touch them, are gonna fall down. And this is the complicated section for me. This is the very last section of the game, because on these carousels, again, we're gonna be pressing a lot of these buttons, and I needed to try to don't receive damage, because here on these subsections we're gonna be having these clowns on these planes, and my zigzag doesn't work properly here, so I need to press the switch. I need to grab this moving platform, and I'm gonna keep quiet here, because this is a really annoying and frustrating part for me. And this also causes that I waste a good amount of time. There we go. I mean, I should have saved some time here if I shouldn't have messed it up at the beginning, but at least I'm happy that I haven't died here, because on this last section I used to die. And we have saved back, baby. And now, I have said that Anubis Rise is the most hardest game, the most hardest boss in the game. But now, let me introduce you to the most annoying boss stage in the game, which is Clown Freaks. And also, this is a PS1 game, which means that it was released on a CD-ROM, and a lot of CD-ROM based games used to include CD audio tracks that if you put the disc on a stereo or on your Discman, you are gonna be able to listen to some of the game tracks. Well, in this case, this game has CD audio tracks for the bosses and some mazes. Which also, for this stage, there's a CD audio track, but instead of that CD audio track, what do you listen here is a compressed version of the stage, because you have seen this is a race, so that means that the game continuously needs to keep loading data. And also, the reason why this is annoying is because the controls are very slippery. That's why I try to get focused. Well, I'm gonna keep quiet on the rest of the stage, because now I'm in first place, and maybe no other clones are gonna spawn. I'm gonna be telling that interesting fact about this stage music once I complete the stage. Also, with the boostings, I need to be really careful. Okay, what I was saying is that this boss fight has a CD audio track, but instead of it uses a compressed track, which means that maybe during developing of this game, this boss stage was gonna be different. Was gonna be a normal boss fight instead of a racing stage, but they decided to switch it on the last moment. But the audio track keeps being part of the disc, so if you put this on the game disc on a CD and a music CD player, you're gonna be able to listen to the uncompressed version of Clown Pricks song, and also peerless pipes. Nothing interesting here. We just need to keep that going, and that's all. Yeah, believe me. Clown Pricks is a really annoying stage. It's not required that I defeat the enemies. And again, since I don't have nothing interesting to mention, I'm just gonna keep. And you know what happens when I keep. So that's the reason why sometimes this kind of categories are good for marathons, because for any kind of announcement, you can have a good amount of time to talk about. Well, I'm also close to the end of the stage, so that shouldn't be like a big thing anyways. Imagine trying to get a piece of health when you have your health full already. And also, with Clown Pricks I was a bit worried because when I was practicing some days ago, I died on a very dumb way, and that dumb way is that I was already in first place, there was no clowns around, and then I just get stomped on the wall, and that made me fall. But the controls are very slippery, so that's like a real problem. Under pressure. Maybe a Queen song is sounding on your mind right now. And if that's not the case, you're not one of my friends, definitely. And again, Under Pressure, nothing interesting here. Both Friend and Key are on the next stage. But we have an interesting out of bounds trick here. So, but obviously we're going to be watching that later. Because we know that for some reason game developers likes to add underwater sections to swim, and they will. We know that in most video games swimming is slow, but we're gonna be able to skip an entire swimming section on a pit. Okay, that was really risky. I don't know why I have done that, but I'm glad that nothing bad happened. Like that! Life is a risk, carnal. La vida es un riesgo. Well, something good about this is that some of the checkpoints are really close, and something that I find interesting on speedrunning are those things related with checkpoints. Mainly because obviously when you play casually, you know that you need that checkpoint, but since we are doing speedruns and we're going faster, you can notice how close to the checkpoints are from each other. I don't know, I find that really interesting on any video game that has checkpoints or something related. jumping out of bounds. I like to boom. It's okay, no problemo. We can do this. And we're gonna be able to complete it, so I shouldn't be worried. Or at least so worried about that. Okay, here's the interesting section. Okay, not it. But we're close to getting close to it. I need to be careful, and I don't like to be with no health on this part. Well, there's a checkpoint here. Okay, some packets because I run out of them. Oh, okay, I still have some of them. Okay, let's do this really safe. And I say safe because some days ago when I was practicing I was like this and I died. Okay, here's the interesting section with the out of bounds, because it's supposed that where the letter C is, we need to go down on that underwater section, but instead of that, we're gonna be doing this. I'm gonna make this little out of bounds, which is gonna put me in this position. I'm underwater but out of bounds, and what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be a bit away from the screen, and then I'm gonna put on the middle of this block, and I'm gonna make that the game loads the next section of the stage. Then I'm gonna press the jumping button and the right button. And what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be jumping outside of the water, and with this I can go entirely out of bounds, skipping the underwater section. I think that this saves also 30 seconds compared with its regular route. Yeah, but if that hasn't blown your mind, on down the tubes, there's gonna be something really interesting. Yeah, definitely you wanna watch. You can notice how safe I'm trying to move here in order to don't receive damage, because if I receive another hit I'm gonna die. So let's move it. I'm not gonna lie that I moved slow here, because even on my runs I move slow there, just to be a bit safe. Okay, ooh, a button. What is gonna happen if I press it? Kaput! There's another one up here. So once I press that button, I need to go back. You're gonna see that this is a real mess up. That this is required in order to complete the stage. Oh my god, I'm stuck that my entire life was shown in front of my eyes on that moment. And another one up. I tell you, once you have more than 10 lives, you shouldn't be so worried about. And also, this is the end of the stage. But there's another enemy here, so I'm gonna try to defeat it first. Oh, down the tubes! Key friend, in this case we're gonna be saving Pac-Man Jr. And again, there's gonna be another interesting thing that I need to mention about this stage. Because we're gonna depend about a little bit about our luck. Not the RNG, our luck itself, in order to get a skip here. And why? Because something interesting about this game is that this game loads per chunks. So meaning that we can prevent that the game loads the next section of the game if we open the Discover. In the past that was allowed into the game, but a couple of years ago, the Pac-Man community discussed the situation, and at the end they decided to ban that option. So I'm gonna grab here this checkpoint. I'm gonna die on purpose because I need to do the damage boosting. Not to save 15 seconds. And well, now you cannot open the game, the discover in order to prevent that the game loads, so you can keep a door entirely in order to progress in the game. So we're gonna be doing another kind of inconsistent skip, but that if you are lucky enough, you can get it on your first attempt. But we're gonna be watching that on a bit. Because on a specific section, you needed to open the discover. Mostly that was banned for people who plays on a PSP or a PS3 or on emulators that doesn't allow to unmount the game image. So in this section, I suppose that you used to open the discover, but that's not allowed anymore. So what I'm gonna be doing is that it's supposed that we need to go to the underwater section and waste like within 2 to 3 minutes trying to get the bell in order to open this door. So what I'm gonna be doing is that first I'm gonna put on this corner specific, then I'm gonna jump and press slightly the up button in order to try to clip. There we go. Once I clip, I go into this corner of the door, and then I need to keep pressing both the up and right button. And if I'm lucky, first try, let's go! We're having a good redemption about our previous bad luck on our previous Valuethon run. So let's go. I'm pretty happy that on a marathon I got that skip on the first attempt. You don't know how complicated it is to get that on the first attempt, because most of the time you're gonna get pushed back and you need to try to do that again. But I was able to get the skip. So if you're wondering why I haven't catch this checkpoint there, is because if I do that, the water is gonna rise up here, and we want to prevent that in order to move slightly faster. Plus, that you can clip outside the door, anyways. So that wasn't like a big problem. Now let's do this guy. And I can keep moving. Okay. Uh-oh, I got a glitch, I need to move faster. For some reason, you can get glitch there, and that enemy can make you damage even when you are not close to it. Why does that happen? I don't know. And now another difference is comparing with the Japanese release. From Keeper, the fifth boss of the game. And the difference is that on the Japanese release, this boss has 6 bars of health. On the American release, this has 8 bars, so obviously we're gonna lose more time trying to hit him. So what we need to do is that we have these metallic buttons, which spray some steam. As you have seen there, I have received damage because I was low. You know, to press all buttons before the time runs out, because once you press a button, there's gonna be a countdown in order to make the other buttons spawn outside again, because we need to press all of these buttons and then the button in the middle is gonna spawn. Which is gonna make us being able to make some damage to the boss. Oh, nothing else interesting to mention here. This is also an easy boss. I knew it. Doesn't matter, it doesn't matter that big damage, it doesn't matter. Very good. And I have a piece of health here. Get this ball. And also we have some misery rings. gonna wait here because I wanna get some extra health. And I got a 1-up. Not mad at all, but I should have preferred to get a piece of health. Like that, for example. That I'm gonna need here because I'm gonna do another damage boosting because I was slow. Come on! Are you serious? Okay, I need to wait again until this bastard decides to throw a wood box like this. Yeah, sometimes if I'm not on the correct position, that's gonna happen. And also I need to be careful with the magnets because as you have seen, I can get trapped by them. If I should be playing Japanese release, this will be the end of this boss fight, but again, we're playing the hardest version of the game. And I move a bit slower here because I'm really aware that maybe I can mess up and fall down on that pole. That if I don't have the crumble. Oh, come on! This is not good. I'm not gonna reach this on time, definitely. Maybe yes. Yes! Got it. And with low health... Now, something really important here, and another difference with the any-person version is that while on the any-person version you can skip stuff, and you need to save all Pac-Man friends in order to unlock this last section of the game. Because sometime in the past, based on Joester's 98 words, which is a world record holder for all the categories of this game, he said that in the past there was a test attempt in order to start the game and go straight to the last section of the game. But then they noticed that if you haven't rescued Pac-Man friends, the last section of the game doesn't get loaded, so it's impossible to skip it because the game simply doesn't load it. So also that's like a requirement for the game. I mean, if you're playing casual and you haven't rescued all Pac-Man friends, you need to rescue them, otherwise you're not gonna be able to enter the last section of the game. Well, here we just have an extra friend that we're gonna be rescuing in the third stage. I'm moving a bit scary because at any moment I can die like this. I would have preferred to receive damage from an enemy that was gonna be a quickest death rather than falling down into a hole or something like that. And also, Pac-Man physics are like a ball, just in case you were wondering. So on heals, I need to be careful. I forgot that I need to activate that. Pac-Man World is a really amazing game. I should say that most of its content has aged well. There's some stuff like um, the the deep viewing from the game that maybe hasn't aged well, but for 2021, it's still being an interesting game to play. So even if you're watching the speedrun of this and you haven't played the game, you should give it a try. It's a really cool and fun platformer. I hate those bets from the bottom of my heart. You don't have any less minimal idea about how much I hate them. Like that, for example. Yeah, I used to die here a lot, but I'm not so worried anyways. Most of the time that I just say comparing this with my PV on this last section is just due to that deaths. And again, I am aware that this is not gonna be a PV, so this is gonna be like a 120 or something like that. Maybe I'm like 4 or 5 minutes ahead of my PV right now, which is not so bad. Ball physics, yay! Creepy Catacombs, second stage of this mentioned section, the last section of the game. Also, this track is uncompressed in the game, but that's because the mazes of this section uses that CD audio track. I was so close to die again. And I don't know, I find it ironic if you die on these stages. There's an extra one up here that I don't need, to be honest, but just for memes and for swag I get it. Okay, there's a little out of bounds trick here, I'm just gonna try it one time. Because this is really, really hard to get. No, Pac-Man, don't do that. What am I doing then? Okay, it doesn't matter, I have died. So I'm gonna do the intended route because Evan, Joe used to have some problems sometimes to get that. But what I need to do is that I need to get this pumpkin here. Oh no, this peach, that's a peach. I need to get this to get some extra health because why not? And just for the means. Because that what I was trying to do was an out of bounds trick in order to skip all of this section and fall directly here in this section, and then with that I was gonna go back and in order to make the game the next section of the stage. Not a big loss anyway. And on my PVA I wasn't able to get it, but in some past PVs I get that. But again, that's something a bit tricky / complicated to get. Unless I just wanted to try it. And now I get this crumble, because here we're gonna be having this wall that we're gonna try to push to us, but with that, that's gonna prevent us to receive damage, but it doesn't matter because I fall down and have died, so... Let's do this in the intended way then. Those platforms never fall down. So I have to move really safe here in order to don't die, because there's a piece of hell that is gonna refill all our all our health. So well, it doesn't matter. Time to perform a damage boosting, because anyways we're gonna be able to refill our health entirely. And now we need to get the key here. Just right here. Yes! So again, that's not the intended way to get the key, but I got it anyways. And that's gonna help us to save Miss Pac-Man on the next stage. And fun fact, after this, Miss Pac-Man got also a new game called Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness. But comparing it with Pac-Man World was just a PS1 exclusive. Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness was published on the PS1, Nintendo 64, and Sega Dreamcast. And I think that it got a PC version also. I don't remember exactly. But for that game, it's supposed that usually when a PS1 game was released on the Dreamcast, the PS1 version on a PS2 is faster because the Dreamcast took a good amount of time to load data. But with Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness is not the case. The game loads faster on a Dreamcast. So maybe in the future, if I can get a Dreamcast, I'm gonna learn the game. Because I want to learn that game, but I'm not quite sure about wanting to learn it on the PS1. Mostly because it's a bit complicated to try to locate a copy of that game in my country on a decent price. Usually that game costs more than $45 from where I am. And I was lucky to get Pac-Man World copy for $30. Even some speed friends considering that it was an expensive price for this game, that was the most cheapest copy that I was able to find. Which is a great kids version. The manual wasn't on a good condition, and also while the disc is not on the best condition, but if you play this on a game on a music CD player, you're gonna be able to listen to all the in-game tracks, all CD audio tracks without problems. But for some reason, the final score track it's scratched when I play this on my PS2. Maybe it's my console because my console is not in good condition, and I don't have any other one to test that. I'm gonna avoid to get that live. Oh well. At least I can play the game, so that's the important thing. And I need to use visual cues there because otherwise I'm gonna fall down. Because sometimes I don't know where do I need to move. We're getting close to the end of the game, just in case that the staff of, well, the region managers wanna set up the next runner. There's another piece of code here that I'm gonna get just in case. Mostly because here there's a higher chance that I receive damage for one of these two bets. In this case, it was the first one, sometimes the second one, and rarely the third one. Then I open this door. And we save Miss Pac-Man. I'm going to refit all that. And again, Pac-Man is... Now Tuckman, last boss of the game. This is gonna take like between 2 to 3 minutes. So here we have the last kids and we're Pac-Man. And just to the party and people discovered that Tuckman, it's not really a Pac-Man. And again, this boss was changed in Japanese release. we can notice two big differences. The first of all is that there are no ghosts on Japanese release. Plus, for the mega shooting, that again I forgot its real name, but well, it's basically to shoot 10 packets. On Japanese release, just need 6 instead of 10. And I'm talking about this. And also Pac-Man friends kills you zone. That's like a good advantage that you have on this boss fight, because you're gonna really need it. You know, in this second phase, he's not gonna throw packets again. He's just gonna be stomping on the floor, and since the floor is made from metal, every time that he stomps the floor and we're on the floor, we're gonna receive some electrical attacks as you have seen. Sometimes trying to avoid the ghosts is a real nightmare. And again, this is not a complicated boss, just a bit annoying. On a bit, he's gonna start to dash in order to try to chase us, but we're gonna be quicker than that. Okay. I missed the opportunity there, but it doesn't matter. Okay, be ready for the time, because the time is gonna finish once I make the last hit to Tuckman. It doesn't matter if it's a glitch. No need to get a bit ahead from him. Okay, the time is gonna finish on the next hit that I make to Tuckman, and time. Okay, no, not time yet. Now, time. I mess it up.
Got me, man.
That was a real time. Yeah, because sometimes I mess up on that last section when I try to reach him on time before he finishes his dashing and start to move around the stage. But well, this is the last cutscene of the game, the only one that we see on the runs.
It's so unfair. You ruined everything. Nobody loves a ghost.
Okay, so the timer might not be that accurate because I had to, stop and start the combat, but about 1:20:53.
Okay, that was a decent result for me, considering that I haven't got so much time to practice this game. This has been a really heavy year for me. I have been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of activities, and I haven't got time to stream or do speedruns. But well, I have seen that Valuethon was gonna have another edition, and I said, okay, I need to be part of this. I cannot get outside of it, and well, again, thanks to the Valuethon staff for giving me the opportunity of showcasing Pac-Man World. I have been trying to turn this in one of my main speed games. I still having a lot of things where I need to practice, but every time that I have the opportunity to showcase this game, I'm really excited, mostly because again, this is not a common game to watch on marathons, plus usually any person category is the showcase category of the game. Maybe for a future edition I can prepare about any person 100% runs, because also those runs are really interesting on the game. And well, again, thanks for the people who has donated for both Super Mario World and Snow Brothers incentive. That means a lot for me, because I'm not used to having incentives for my runs. And having bought incentives, well, in this case, the Sombrero incentive, and having the Super Mario World run as an incentive run, that was something really amazing. I was a bit bored about not reaching the goal for those incentives, but at the same time, I'm really happy about that. And well, this was my short invasion, my short information here on Valuethon. Again, thanks to everybody who was part of this stream and has been part of this marathon. For streamers, for staff, for the organizers, for people who has been donating, and also for people who has been enjoying the marathon. This is not the end of the event. We are starting with the second day of the marathon. We're gonna be starting with the rain world, I think, on a bit. So keep turning the marathon. We're still having a good amount of amazing runs to watch, and remember that every donation matters. There's a lot of different incentives, and all of the money is gonna go for a good cause.
Yeah, speaking of Rain World, speaking of that bid war, that's the Survivor vs Hunter category bid war, and that is $34.94 for Survivor and $20 for Hunter. So if you want Hunter to win, you only need $15. It's pretty small, small donation, and helps the children. And you can make Hunter, you can make Ice play Hunter, but you gotta be quick. You gotta be quicker, very quick. Also, that's a double raid. Hello there, hello there, Shasta and TG, coming just in there. We're just wrapping up Pac-Man World, but we're gonna be back here soon with Rain World. Thank you again so much to GhostSenpai for running 3 games here, and I think I'll leave the final words with you.
Thanks for. Oh, again, the last thing that I have to say is thanks for having me, and well, welcome to all the people from the raid, and for all the people who were watching all my 3 runs here on the Valuethon. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Well, a little shout out for me. You have seen my Twitch channel is Fotogramas, and I'm mainly Sony Games speedrunner. I wanted to focus mostly on the Crash Bandicoot franchise. But I like to run PlayStation 1 games and NES titles. I'm attempting to learn more NES and SNES games. But if you like 3D platforming / PlayStation action on my channel, feel free to follow it. I do streams on both English and Spanish, so don't feel that the language barrier is gonna be a thing on my channel. I'm fine speaking both languages, and again, the fun stuff is not gonna finish here. We're still having more runs, and well, again, thanks for having me. See you, and keep enjoying the rest of the